All right, everyone, we are talking Moana 2. You have to teach me proper pronunciation because my Maori and Samoan are not good. So,
Awhimai.
Awhimai?
Yeah.
And Hualalai.
And Hualalai.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get it as close as I can. Awhimai, your husband and I are going to do the Haka after this since I've been from the All
That
Blacks.
doesn't surprise
Maori
me at
Haka.
all.
Yeah, and then we'll do the sipi tau afterwards.
Yeah,
so we'll
yeah.
just keep it. Yeah, we got to keep it fair and balanced. With
Yes,
all
yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah, Moana 2 was a lot of fun. The original rumor was that it was going to be a 10-episode limited series. I would love to see what 10 episodes of this looks like because an hour and a half just did not feel long enough for this.
Yeah, totally. I think we both signed on to do that particular series, and then found out, oh my gosh, we're in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a cool realization,
Yes.
you know, like I think being in a Disney movie is definitely.
When you get to be in a Disney movie and everything's working out in that regard, you know, like you get to have an interesting, because the history of Disney, just celebrated 100 years of Disney itself, you know, Mickey, Minnie, I'm a huge Donald guy. And to see the expansion of going through the Disney princesses, and then we finally got Jasmine in the 90s, and now you have Moana, even though she's not a princess, but The Rock still likes to call her one, or at least Maui does.
Yeah.
You know, when we get to tell a story like this that transcends cross-culturalism, so it's not just a Polynesian story, because Maori is different than Samoan, than Tongan, than Hawaiian.
Whānau.
Yeah. But you know, there's still the tie-in. But then someone like myself, whose family's from the Middle East, can see the indigenous aspect and trying to find the lost tribes, or you know, the neighboring country and people that you want to be a part of. This becomes very international. And how exciting it is to tell a localized story for an international audience that'll understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that there's so many different components of the film that so many different people can align with and connect with, you know, and that's one of the beauties of the story of Moana, is that it's placed in the Pacific, but it touches on pillars and fibers of your being and what makes us so family oriented that so many people from across the world, regardless of what culture you come from, you can connect to and really hone in on. Yeah.
We have a saying, like a Maori proverb, e hara taku toa I te toa takitahi, engari he toa takitini. My strength is not mine alone, but those of everyone around me. And I think that's kind of like our Maori proverb for this particular Moana too, at least I'd put it out there. Because I feel like she's really the strength of her collective, especially with this guy, and also the crew, and Kele, and Loto. And I think she really pulls on the strength of Maui at the end as well. And you know, that's just an example of how we can all relate to it, no matter which actor is playing which role.
The beauty in this being a cross-Polynesian story is that we get to see Maori aspects, Samoan, Hawaiian, and you know, Tongan. We're going to try not to leave everybody out because I don't want to get an email from somebody saying you forgot about it, you know, Guam. But when you get to pick out aspects of like, okay, this is primarily Samoan, and we embedded this, we put Maori in here, so that everybody gets to see a piece of their identity within this. How important was that as a performer? And then now as an audience member to see the cross-Polynesian aspect of all of this.
Well, I mean, like for me, like I've been blessed being raised. My family always taught me to be Polynesian and Pacifico. You know, not Hawaiian, not Samoan. You know, like you are Polynesian as a whole. To teach the idea that even though people come from across the seas, that we are all family. We are all related in one way, shape, or form. So to be able to display that in this film, where you know the people of Motunui are not distinctly correlated with the Polynesian, you know, culture. They're a representation of all, and I think a lot of people can adapt to that ideal that there is the grandeur of the general identity of people as a whole, you know, human.
Okay, I'm going to leave you with this since it's coming to Disney Plus on March 12th, and we've run out of time. The last few years, everybody said, oh, you can't tell this story because you're not this. You can't relate to that story because you're not that. How do we all relate to Moana 2 internationally?
I think her story. I think you know, being brave, trying something different. I've heard this line a lot in a few of the interviews, but honestly, going beyond, getting a little bit lost, shaking things up, trying a new flavor, a new color. I think that's always inspiring. I think we can always grow as humans anyway. So probably a little bit of that. What about you? Final line?
Basically, you never stop knowing who you are and learning who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody can attach to.
Fantastic. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I really appreciate your time. Moana 2, Disney Plus, March 12th. It's been a great pleasure chatting with you.
You too.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.